I hate to stop good conversation, but we've got a wonderful program today, and I certainly want to make sure that we have an adequate amount of time for Mr. Charles to provide his information to us. Obviously, many of you are excited to be here for this presentation because I see people in the room I haven't seen and I can't tell you when. And so it's wonderful to see all of you developers and realtors and mortgage folks and all of those different categories of business that we would love to see on every month. So thanks for being here. I'm Brenda Payne, the CEO here at the Hendersonville Area Chamber of Commerce. And on behalf of the Chamber, we want to welcome you to our March Luncheon. We're going to get started here in a minute with an invocation, but before we do that, I have a couple of special announcements that I want to make. The first one is I want folks to be sure that they are on the lookout for an announcement about our April luncheon. Now, Hendersonville will not have an April luncheon. It's actually the United Chambers of Sumner County that's going to have its luncheon on April the 10th. You won't have to go anywhere different. It's right here in this room, but it's not the first Tuesday. It's going to be on the second Thursday, so it's a little bit of an adjustment for you, so I want to make sure that you know that. You will be getting some information in your inboxes about that. It's going to look a little like this. Frank Friels, can you read this from the back? No, he's not even listening to me, much less is he going to be able to read this. But you are going to be able to get this. There is information here about the cost of the luncheon, some sponsorship opportunities for that luncheon, and also to let you know that the Tennessee Department of Transportation Commissioner John Schroer is our guest speaker that day, and I know that he's going to bring a lot of great information for all of us, so we hope that you'll all plan to attend that. So be on the lookout for this. The second thing I want to do, every year we rotate 7 new people on our board of directors, and we roll off 7 folks who've been on that board for 2 years. And this year we have 7 great nominees. Several of them are here today. They didn't know I was going to do this, and so I apologize in advance. But I would love for you to stand as I call your name so that the people in our membership can see you and know who you are. So those names are Regina Bartlett with Hendersonville Medical Center. Please remain standing if you don't mind. Dr. Jerry Faulkner with Volunteer State Community College. Mike Finland with Network Solutions Group. Debbie Grisco with Smith Travel Research. Corey Langford with Black Eyed Pea. Joe Rewa with Hendersonville Utility District. And Mariana Wommeldorf, who is a community volunteer. Would you all please give these folks a great round of applause? We really, really appreciate their willingness to serve the Chamber and the community in this important way. And so now, it's my great pleasure to introduce Aaron Allison, who is going to come and give our pledge and invocation as well. Thank you very much.
Would you please join me and stand? If you now join me in prayer. God, we come before you on this afternoon, and we thank you for the food we are enjoying, and we thank you for this organization that is bringing together the various businesses and organizations and nonprofits so we can together make Hendersonville a better place for the citizens. And we do pray that your kingdom would come and your will would be done here on earth as it is in heaven. Bless this time that we have before us, and let the relationships that are developed here enrich us all. It's in Jesus' name that I pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. I also want to thank the chef here at Bluegrass Country Club who has prepared for each of us a special dessert for us to take away. It's Tennessee Mud. If you haven't already gotten your little jar of Tennessee Mud, please feel free to see Patty Corn right over here on the side. She's doing her Vanna White sort of impression over there. So she has these for you and would love for you to pick one up and take it home and enjoy that. It's my great pleasure now to introduce Lisa Byers with the Goddard School of Hendersonville, who is serving this year as the chair of our Hendersonville Chamber. Please welcome Lisa.
Thank you, Brenda. Good afternoon and welcome to our luncheon. I have the opportunity to introduce and welcome our new members, those who have joined or rejoined since we last met in February. I'm going to announce their name and the representative for the business or organization. We have AEM Recruiting, Ben McCroskey, ARC of Cumberland Valley, William Brian Scruggs, Civil Site Design Group, Jim Harrison, Cross Driven Construction, Frank Omiao, Cumberland Heights, Army Hamater, Devin Sutherland, represented by Devin Sutherland, Hendersonville Crime Stoppers, Mary Gore, Hendersonville Glass and Mirror, Daryl Robinson, Home Inspection by Carl Cassidy, Hville Online, LLC, Lewis Ellis, Living Sent Ministries, Jerry Mull, Lion Media, Nick Lyon, New Wind, LLC, Stuart Winston, NutriShop Hendersonville, Yancey Holder, OsteoStrong, Manny Butera, Special Needs Sports Foundation, Inc., Ed Neal, Tennessee Comprehensive Lung and Sleep Center, Stephanie Sutton, the Daniel Team, Reliant Realty, Adina Daniel, and Verizon Wireless, Charles Allen. That's 19 new members or members rejoining. Please give them a hand. We would now like to welcome and recognize any elected officials who are with us today. If you're an elected official, please stand so that we can recognize you and you can introduce yourself. Yes? Hold on. Anthony, if you don't mind introducing yourself first, and we'll go to that.
Anthony Holt, I'm the county executive.
Thank you. Sir?
Sonny Western, Sheriff in Sumner County.
Thank you.
Scott Hawkins, Mayor, welcome down.
Thank you, Mayor Scott.
Don Long, Sumner County School Board.
Wonderful. Thank you. I would now like to introduce our wonderful chairman-elect, Gina Scott. Gina is the VP of Financial Services at Pinnacle, and we'd like to have her come and introduce our speaker for today. Please welcome Gina.
Hello, everyone. Okay, it's my great pleasure to introduce our speaker, Mr. Edsel Charles. After building new single-family homes during the late 1970s and 80s, Mr. Charles started MarketGraphics in 1988, with Nashville, Tennessee being the first market. The company has grown to be one of the largest privately owned companies of its type in the United States, with research in 18 states. Mr. Charles has been a National Life Director of National Association of Home Builders Board of Directors since 1987 and a past president of the Middle Tennessee Home Builders Association. He's a member and past national trustee for NAHB's Institute of Residential Marketing Council, a 3-year trustee of the National Sales and Marketing Council, a member of the Graduate Realtor Institute, and his state of Tennessee real estate broker's license. In addition to being a consultant to many top builders in the United States, Mr. Charles has received the following awards: a National Marketing Award for Professional Builders Magazine, a Gold National Award for Marketing for a Parade of Homes, Builder of the Year Award, and other top development awards. Mr. Charles speaks for different home builders associations across the United States. Additionally, he's spoken for many other groups, such as the FDIC Atlanta Regional Office, Federal Reserve Bank of Nashville, the National Association of Home Builders Conference, and that's just to name a few. He has also served as an expert witness for the real estate legal cases. Please help me welcome Mr. Edsel Charles.
My goodness, bigger crowd than I expected. It's easier to come and talk to you when the market is better. I thought I would put on a market research presentation from 3 years ago to add a little sorrow to this crowd. Things have really changed. It's almost hard to imagine. My son, right here, Bill Charles, is developing a subdivision called Durham. They're going to start sometime soon, hopefully, and I want you to go buy some lots and houses. Let me tell you before I start, let me tell you something that happened last year. And this is not a political statement at all, because I don't do that. But I was trying to figure out why the market last August, September, October-ish, we had this, the market was growing like this, and then it started to a little teensy bit of softness while it was still growing. Now, again, look, this is not to do with politics, but I tried to figure out why we had this. So I was speaking with the economist about 6 weeks ago from the Board of Realtors, Lawrence, in a setting with the Fed out of Atlanta, and we were in Florida doing a presentation, and they said, well, it was interest rates that had happened. I said, I just don't think so. So I just finished with the Fed over in Des Moines, Iowa a week ago, and he thought that it might have been the interest rates also. I said, I just don't think so. I am convinced that a chunk of the market just held back about a year ago. Let me tell you what it is. The healthcare issue, and again, not politics here, the healthcare issue, I think there was a bunch of people that were going to put 3% down, 5% down, 6% down in new homes, and they were a little bit nervous whether they're going to lose their insurance, they're going to get it on time, were they happy with life. All these things were going on, how much was going to be out of pocket, how much their copay is going to be, were people going to steal their identity, all this public thing that was going on in the media. And Republicans and Democrats are scrapping. I like that, by the way. I'm in favor of the Republicans and Democrats scrapping. I think it's just wonderful. I wish I could scrap more. They'd create less laws and we would be all better. Anyway, the bottom line is, I tried to see how did that work. It was like you took 20% out of the market. About 20 cents just pulled it out. And it was difficult to track, I'll be honest with you. So I've tested that concept with hundreds and hundreds of real estate agents in numerous markets, trying to get a feel for that. I've come to the place where I am convinced that people that were a little tight in their budget, that were going to put a low down payment, that they hesitated. They just got concerned. And so they're waiting, they decided to wait. Not all, but just some side decided to wait. How many? Well, I don't know. I think in Nashville it's about 20%. You can see it in the numbers. So then when does it come back? I don't know. I think that the scrapping that's going on over the election is going to hesitate a lot from buying. But I think after the election, I think you're going to see that group is going to come back after things settle down. So what's the bottom line? I think they're going to come back and buy. I think the market is better than what you see. That's the bottom line with all this. Whatever you think the market is out there, there's more that would have bought if they hadn't hesitated because of concern. My stuff that I'm going to show you here is all about new construction. What happens with us, every 4 months we go to the courthouse, we pull any recordings, any plats, we track all the planning commission activity. Up here in Sumner County, it's easy to track the planning commissions because the planners are genius. Fred, where are you at? and now if you get into some other counties, they're really bad, ugly people, see. But not here. This is really good. I'm sucking up. Can you hear that, Fred? Yeah. What I'd like to do is just walk you through some of this versus get off on all that foolishness. We drive every subdivision every 4 months, and we count it all. We are actually standing in the front yard counting 16.9% of the whole United States every 4 months, standing in the front yard of every house under construction. 72% of every home built in the state of Tennessee, we stand in the front yard every 4 months and count that house and the status of that house. So I tell you what it does. It gives you a real-time feel for what's going on in the market. Here's all the world we're in right now. Pretty slick. I can scribble on here, don't you think? Yes, sir. It's kind of like having John Madden here, don't you think? This right here is the chart that was created May 14th, 2000. It's never been changed, never been adjusted, never been cleaned up, nothing. It's just stated, there it is. It says that from May of 2000 to May of 6, for 6 years, that the asset value of the average American remained stable. But starting in May of 6, we would start to see an economic downturn, forecasted 6 years in advance. Somewhere about that May of 6 is pretty doggone accurate as to when it was coming off. And for the next 3 years, we would see a fall of asset value of between 30 to 35% fall of asset value, and the recession would find its bottom in May of 2009. We now know, according to the Council of Economic Advisors, that May of 9 was the last month of the recession. This chart called that bottom accurately to the month 9 years in advance. Called the downturn accurately 6 years in advance. So the question is whether we lost 30-35% loss of asset value. The Wall Street Journal did a study. They said 32%. And Moody's Financial said 34%. And we were in a meeting with Bernanke, and he said 35%. This thing says 35% back May 14, 2000. And then it goes back, and by May of 12, it shows that we would still be off 10% loss of asset value from when we were back here. I remember talking to my wife somewhere about 5 or 6, about 5 over here, 4 or 5 actually. I said, look, do you want to sell your house? I said, what's coming is that people are going to be underwater in their mortgages. They started out with 10-15% down, and they're going to be underwater. The homes won't be worth as much as they even put in it. And our house is going to lose 30-35% loss also. And do you want to sell your house now? And then I'll buy a lot in May of 2009 when we reach the bottom, and I'll build you a new house. And we talked about it for about 30, 60, 90 days, and we like the location we're at, very handy, and we don't want to go through the hassle. And so we decided not to do that. So I remember when Bonnie asked me, she said, how long do you think it's going to be before we gain our losses back? And I said, it's going to be 8 years. It's going to be May of 2014 before we gain it back. And so we decided to wait it out, and May of 14 is right here, and we feel that our losses will have been gained back. This thing right here says that between May of 12 and May of 14, new home prices will go up by 5% a year, and between May of 14 and May of 15, we'll see a 4% increase in new construction prices. And then we'll see 2% per year inflation after that. And I'm seeing this. Watch on the chart, and you'll see this little dip. See this? I believe in the fall of 2019 that we are going to come up with a start of a rumblings of a next recession. And I think that the next recession probably starts right after that in 2020, and we start falling off, and by the summer of 2020 we're probably in the early stages of recession. My sense is that we're not going to see a deeper recession next go round as we just came through by any stretch of the imagination. And the reason is we went through such a deep one this time is because a lot of stupidity by a lot of people, except for people in Sumner County. Everybody up here is smart, good people. Do you realize that part of the length of the recession was because of government interference? I'll tell you what I did. I was able to prove that out. If you took the stimulus from housing, 3 different times they intervened. And you look at the implications of that. And the stimulus had 2 effects. It extended the housing recession in the United States by 20 months. We added 20 months to the recession. And we sold nobody new in the whole United States. That wouldn't have bought in the next 2 years anyway. You talk about abject failure. Whew, man. I'm in favor of throwing all the Republicans and Democrats out of Congress up there and starting over with farmers. Just think about it. Farmers shovel a lot of stuff, you know. and when you get up to D.C., you're going to have to do a lot of shoveling. So they got a lot of practice. Sometimes interference in the marketplace doesn't get the results we hope for. And I took the stuff to the Congress and to the Senate, by the way, at 2 different times. So I'm not trying to be political. I'm just telling you sometimes we have to be careful that what we intend for good doesn't turn out for good. A lot of good intentions. I have a suggestion for you, especially if you're running a business. I would like to have you stop planning ahead. I can't tell you how discouraged I get when I hear people planning ahead. That has got to be the stupidest concept I've ever heard in my life. What I'd like to have you do is to get away, if you're running something, and go away for a couple days to a state park in Tennessee and just sit there with an empty notepad and a pen and make believe you're in the summer of 2020 and the recession is here. And think about it. What's your return on assets? How many people are you going to have to lay off? What kind of financial situation are you in? How does that work? Just thinking about all of that. Recreate the world in the summer of 2020 as if there's a recession. And then you plan backwards to today. And you implement ahead. Instead of going from here and plan ahead, start over here and plan backwards. And then implement ahead. And do that every year. I think that you would come out so much better. Let me just, for the bankers that are here, let me offer you a suggestion. You get yourself a van, you rent a van, and you get a hold of me and I'll send you the top subdivisions in 50 in all this market. And you take a whole bunch of your people and you go out there and you drive and go see the top 50. Just go see them. Sometimes we get so caught up in our office, we don't know what's going on out there. I'll be honest with you, I'd recommend that for planners and for public officials. Just take a day and go see the world. Here's the overall Nashville market, and of course I'm going to focus on the Sumner County world, but I am going to give you a little bit of overview. I keep Montgomery County separate because the base commander at the 101st Airborne brings people in and out, and he does it on purpose to screw up my charts. I know I'm telling you. So here, I'm going to focus on the 11 county part of the world, big emphasis on Sumner County. We break Sumner County, by the way, in these pieces. Here's the Hendersonville world, the Gallatin market, and the rest of the county, and each one of those is further broken down into 8 price ranges. And I better clean that up. My son's going to get all over me here. So we have looking for 8,284 starts for the 11 counties. I can't begin to tell you how big that is. That's bigger than Indianapolis by almost double. It's bigger than St. Louis, bigger than Winston-Salem, it's bigger than Richmond, Virginia, it's bigger than Jacksonville, Florida, it's bigger than Kansas City, the only one that's bigger right now happens to be the Detroit market. Phoenix market. Unbelievable. And if you added on here 1,100 more for Montgomery County, you'd be up to a 9,300 start rate this year. Next year, there's no doubt we'll be pushing over the 10,000 mark. That is absolutely unbelievable. And we're headed towards an enormous crisis all over this market. I'll show it to you in a second. Probably the single biggest crisis we've ever had, and I'll show you what it means in a minute. Here, 24 to 28% of everything out there in new construction can be sitting there, finished, unoccupied on any given day. Well, if you go back to 2003, it was in that 28% market. You get it back into October of 5, we were at 22%, and I'm looking for the yellow. You get into that 2006, remember I had that asset chart up here? Well, that's here. And all of a sudden it got out of hand, and by February of 11, 69% of the whole 11 counties was sitting there with all the homes under construction. 69% were sitting there finished, unoccupied. And then it's come back down. In the last 4 months, we've dropped from 43% to 38%. You talk about a market straightening up. Unbelievable. Sumner County. We have something in Sumner County that's coming that's going to absolutely... I just finished up this morning in Williamson County. And I did another big presentation the other day in Williamson County. And I'm telling them, look, if you took all of Williamson County, let me see if I can find a place right here. If you took all of Williamson County, you have Fairview way over here. Well, Fairview's not there anymore. I just gave it to Dixon County. I've sent it over, so I split the county right here. I've given this part over to, Dixon's, it's part of Dixon now. But if you took the rest of the county and looked at it, do you realize that within 24 months, there will be no houses for sale under $275,000 in Williamson County? I just don't. Now, maybe a few left over in the Spring Hill thing, but we're seeing lots in Spring Hill already at $60,000, and $60,000 warrants a $300,000 house. So already we're struggling to deliver. So I think that this world right here is going to be sending people away. Where is that market going to go under 275? I think a little bit goes to Bellevue. I do. I think a little bit does. Probably right over here. I think a little bit's going to run along Highway 96, 99 corridor, right back in here. I think a little bit does. I think there's going to be some spotty stuff out in the cracks in Williamson County. A little bit. I'm convinced that 60% of the market that's going to fall out of Williamson County under 275 is going to fall to Hendersonville. Let me show you why. The distance from Hendersonville to downtown is shorter than downtown to Franklin. All we have to do is fix that interstate out there. You know where the Y thing is? I am convinced there's terrorists that are tearing that thing up at night. Every day I go by during the day, it looks good. I come back the next day, it looks like they lost ground. There's people, I'm telling you, either that or they've got a problem with that road over there like I got in my yard with the moles. Let me just tell you a story about moles. There's an article in the newspaper where this dog is sending in letters about his family and the cat. You ever read that? Anybody read that? Nobody's ever seen that? Wow. It's in Tennessee. The dog is writing a letter. I told my wife, write a letter to that dog. So she's sending a letter to the dog at the Tennessean, trying to rent the cat to come get the moles out of our yard. Now we've offered the dog a commission. One thing about Hendersonville is that the people are very serious around here. I'm doing my dead level best to get you to laugh a little bit, you see. You have this market. I am convinced it's going to start moving this way. And you have a problem with that. You have a problem with a shortage of lots. And you're going to, I'll tell you who I think is going to come out smelling like a rose, beyond your wildest dreams of the real estate world, all in Middle Tennessee. Because we are not going to be able to put enough lots on the ground to satisfy the market throughout the whole marketplace. And what's going to do is it's going to hinder the sales of new homes. And when the sales of new homes are hindered, there's not enough product out there that the real estate agents are going to come out absolutely wonderfully selling and listing existing homes. And the prices of your homes are going to go up faster than he would normally have gone up. If you want to pick a place to live, go here. You need to be happy you live here. I'm serious now. I'm not just saying that because I'm here. I'm telling others that. Hendersonville is my market of choice right now. I like this place. Yeah, and I'm not saying that to get you to clap your hands. I honestly believe that. See, I think that this place here is outstanding. You know the biggest problem you've had here, and I just give you a little grief here for a second. You've done a really bad job promoting this place. You really have. You've done a really poor job promoting this place. You can't just trust one organization. It's the whole deal. The opportunity for you to promote this world is over the top. Good. Now, you got everything in your hands, but nobody knows it. Nobody knows. He said, well, Sumner County, oh, that's up there, right? It's up there. Yes. I want you to do something. I don't know, Mayor, who's the best group. I don't know who's the best group to do something about this. But it shouldn't be just one. I wish that there was a private 10, 12 people get together, talk about how to go over the top, but letting the world know what you got here. And it would be good for the business people, be good for the chamber, it'd be good for home builders, developers, be good for the churches, be good for everybody. So if you ever want to have that meeting and want me to come and sit and talk and we brainstorm some night, you holler.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Price is cheap, it's free. Let me get off of this. Let me get on to something else and I'm in a hurry. Let me take you now past, look, in 11 counties, in 10, we did, something got messed here, 4,400 starts. By 11, we did 4,600. And then 12, we did 6,100. And last year, 7,600. On the way to over 8,000. Talk about a market turning. Unbelievable. Of all the markets we're in, it's Nashville, then Indianapolis, then Charleston, South Carolina, Jacksonville, Florida, south part of Jacksonville along St. Augustine. You jump over to Kansas City, you go to Phoenix, and then you come back all the way over to Minneapolis, St. Paul. Nashville will be the best market. Anyway, the Davidson County permits went like this. I don't put much stock in permits, let me show them to you. But here's Sumner County. We were here and we're back here. And you say, whoa, that looks pretty good, Edsel. No, that's only this little nothing thing. I'm telling you that the opportunity is here. And when you see that market shift that's coming, sure as I'm standing here now, it's coming. That market shift under the 275 market's coming. Here, let me tell you something else that is the over-the-top opportunity for this county. For not just Hendersonville, all around here, is the retirement market. Nobody in Middle Tennessee has figured out how to go after retirees. Why not you? You know why you want the retirees? They don't kill people. And they don't have kids unless something goes wrong. And they get on the roads late in the morning because they slept in, and they're off the roads late in the afternoon. They put their money in your banks, which is always really nice. They volunteer a lot. Why did you do that? Why don't you go after the retirement market? If you ever have a group that wants to talk about the retirees, you let me come over and sit with you. Unbelievable opportunity. Let me take it to another level. Why don't you make this the retirement capital of the world? Really? Why don't you have rallies? You know, they do that in Sturgis for all the motorcycle people. Why don't you do it for all the retirees? Why is not Hendersonville? Why not? He said, well, he's just fooling with us. No, I ain't doing that. Here, let me get off. Here's Williamson County. Williamson County's also done well. And you got Wilson. Wilson's coming off because Providence kind of having a hard time delivering enough lots in price points. Now, let me pass on the rest of this. And we are now tracking 1,150, again, the whole market for a second, and I'll focus on here. 1,155 subdivisions that are both started and not started. Of that, there's about 816 subdivisions that are actually going. We are tracking about 350 subdivisions that do not exist. And we go to once a year, we go to that vacant field to prove they're still not there. It's the stuff that's been through some form of planning, to some planning commissions. Sometimes, Fred, if you guys take a project through and you mush it out the back door, and it all falls apart, well, we still track that for a while. Maybe about 2 years, by the way. Thinking somebody might resurrect that deal and come with a little more sense to the planning commission, and do what's reasonable kind of stuff. And so we're tracking 350 sites that don't exist. And look at here, this 11 counties, we're tracking 18,480 developed lots. If you go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, we were tracking 36,000 lots. Our lot count has fallen by 50%. Our houses under construction are 3,019. You say, well, boy, it feels much better. What are you talking about? There was a time when we had 9,700 houses going. You know why it feels better for the builders? It's because half of them are gone broke, and the other half are still here, and they're happy with the volume there is because they're getting more market share. And if you look at the 3,019 houses going, hand counted, 1,866 are still being built, and 1,153 are finished, not unoccupied. Watch. You go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago in 4 months, we had 4,400 finished unoccupied homes. In the last 4 months, we have moved out of inventory 140 finished unoccupied homes in 11 counties they're not there anymore, and we haven't replaced them. The counts are going down on houses, and I've got something shocking in a second. We tried to figure this out. I should send a copy of this to you. Try to figure out what demand is for lots, and here's what the economists say. It's the need in the market for product, goods, and services. That's demand. I don't have a clue what that means. So I try to figure out 10 increasing levels of demand and 10 decreasing levels of demand and neutral demand. Neutral demand is, I need 100 now, I need 100 houses in 6 months, I need 100 a year. It isn't going nowhere. My daughter says to me, Dad, this 10 increasing levels of demand, you're saying that the most difficult, tough demand, big time demand, is where prices are nuts. She said, sure, you can find some better words than that. And I said, nah, prices are nuts is the best way to explain really strong demand. In 2003, we were here, where we saw labor a little tight, prices were up, sales were up, some subdivisions were still stalling. 2004 was here, and by 5, 6, we wound up with some inventory shortages in some places, hard to find lots. And by 7, it fell down here, and we had subdivisions that weren't moving very well. It was pretty soft. Things were getting softer, concerned, a lot of negativity. And then you rolled around to 8, and 8 fell here, and with some layoffs and people worried. And by 9, it was the year where the recession met the bottom in May of 9. We were down here, and we had subdivisions that were stopped. There was a lot of fear. They were in the red. They were losing money. Layoffs, worried, cancellations. And then by 10, you saw not much improvement. But by 11, we came back here, and 12, we were here, where all of a sudden we ranged from things not working to inventory being a little low. And by 13, which we just finished, we were in here and frantic to buy lots. All the A lots in all of Middle Tennessee are spoken for right now. And frantic to buy, worried about product availability, shortages are setting in, supply is falling. And in 14, this year, I expect that to be the same, only a few less projects not working. What about 15 and 16 and 17? I think we get to the place where prices are nuts. I've seen something happening now that I've never seen in my lifetime. I've always seen home prices go up and down, lot prices go up and down. I have never seen where home prices going up at 5% a year like they are, and lot prices going up faster. There is in the housing industry what's called a lot to value ratio, where if you have a $300,000 home, 20% of that is the lot, which is $60,000 lot. $400,000 house, 20% is $80,000 lot. That's how we've talked in Middle Tennessee. There's never been such a thing as 20%. It's always been 14, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23. It's all over the board. Here, that's not the issue. Whatever you think it is, within 2 years, you will be using a different number of 1.5% more. If you think it's 20%, it'll be 21.5. If you think it's 22, it'll be 23.5. Because the lot prices are going up faster than home prices. It is a real problem. Good night. I'm thinking of some projects that were outstanding projects that had problems, and it was here. If you go to 2018, I'm here, and 19, I'm here, and then I don't know if it's too low. I'm going to reevaluate whether I made this too difficult all the way 2022. So I'm speaking in Raleigh about 3 weeks ago, Raleigh-Durham, at a country club. 46 of the largest builders in Raleigh-Durham were at this meeting. Pulte and Toll Brothers and Ryland and Ryan and all kinds of big shots. And one guy says, raised his hand, he said, well, I'm just not going to pay. Those prices are nuts stuff. I said, well, don't worry about that. I got some advice for you. Just wait until 2022 and buy lots cheaper over here. And just take off for the next 5 years and go on vacation. Don't do nothing. I said, actually, you're going to pay the price because there's a shortage. It's like here. We have a shortage, and here's what it is. The current lot inventory is 18,480 lots, hand counted. I think at 15, we're going to use 8,700 lots. The market demand between now and the end of 2019, from now to the end of 19, is we're going to use 55,600 lots, of which 13,900 be Williamson County and 12,004 in Davidson. And I think between now and the end of 19, we're going to have to develop 63,279 lots just to stay even. Where's Charlie Lowe? Charlie, where are you at? Charlie just passed out. Bill, you have to help pick him off the floor. He's and big-time engineers, right? And Charlie's as good as they come, by the way. And the question, he would like to plan all 63,000. The trouble is you're not going to develop 63,000. We're going to fall short. We don't have the developers, and we don't have the money, and we don't have the willingness of cities to zone at an appropriate density per acre to accommodate the market, except Hendersonville. We have a real crisis in our hands. The only issue at hand is how much we're going to be short of lots. It is an enormous crisis. Let me just get off of this. Let me show you the top 10 places to build right now. Obviously, right now, top 10 places are not in Hendersonville. Not yet. It's coming real close here. Let me pass on some of this and take you here to the employment. This right here is how the employment has gone in Middle Tennessee. And you need to create about 1.25 jobs for every housing start, and we're creating 3.3 jobs per housing start right now. We are still creating jobs at 25,830 jobs on a year-over-year basis, which is quite amazing. I'm going to pass on the interest rate chart, if you don't mind. I'm in a hurry. And here's 2001. Let me just show you. This is all the market parts. 9A is Hendersonville, and here's all the price ranges. Green on here says build some houses. Yellow says, that's not a bad little spot. Orange says, got to be a little careful. And the red says, what are you, nuts? And here's 2002, and here's 3, and here's 4, and here's 5. Remember in 6 I said we're getting in trouble a little bit, and by 7 we're getting in trouble, and by 8 we were here, and by 9 we were here. And the market found its bottom in May of 9. If you're wondering, I don't like the red. Here's the Hendersonville world right here. And everything in Hendersonville was death warmed over. Here's 10. And you can see that little break into the low price points by 10, and by 11, we were here. Already by 11, it just like it almost straightened up. And then you get 12, and then here's Hendersonville right here. I just use Hendersonville as an example. 9B is Gallatin, and then here's the rest of the county. And then you get to 12 months ago, and 12 months ago found us right over here. And then we wound up 8 months ago, and 4 months ago, and here's today. This is fresh as of February 1st. And you can see it just really straightened up. And look at right here, with just almost solid, of the darker green, it is solid. If you were to go out there and count the specs, there's only 40 spec homes out there. Take them down to 543 a year. Now it's outside the city of Hendersonville a little bit. It's a little bit bigger piece of ground than that. Let me show you the market 4 months from today. And here's the market 8 months from today. And here's what it looks like a year from today. And here's 16 months out. And here's 20 months out. And here's 2 years from today. Let me now take you back, all the way back over here to today, just for a second. I'm going to take you to the fall of this year. This is August, somewhere about August, September this year. And here's the Hendersonville market. And this is going to tell you whether or not you're overbuilding or underbuilding. I'm saying that within the 425, 625 home price, that's home and lot sales price, we will have no houses left in 8 months, and we need 84 sales that year. In the 625, 925 range, I only think we got one house left, take them down to 32 a year. In the 925 and over mark, I think we had one house left, take them down at 9 a year. Whatever the builders are doing in this market is they're underbuilding the market. They're not building houses fast enough. And slowly but sure, based on what they're doing, because that's what this shows. This just simply says, if the builders keep doing what they're doing, and here's our sales, here's what's going to happen 8 months out. And I'm telling you that even in the Gallatin market, now the Gallatin market is here. So let me clean this up and show you, because it's hard to read here. Let me take you back again a little bit slower so we can not cover the numbers. Here's the Hendersonville world, all the way through. In 8 months, I'm expecting to have 43 houses left. Take them down to 549 a year. Now, I'm not talking just Hendersonville, talking a bit bigger market area than that, but not much. If you look here at the under 175 market, there is none left. It's gone. And the 175, 225 market is still going to be okay. Here's my big number. The 225, 275 market is still going to be okay here. When Williamson County is not going to be able to deliver, you're still going to be able to deliver. I just want you to be careful when you do zoning, that you remember that we don't say, oh, all these 5 people showed up that are very wealthy and they don't want more than 1 lot per acre. You have to be real careful in zoning and in planning and in government that you take care of all people in Hendersonville, of all price points. All people. It's not about government, and it's not about builders, and it's not about developers. It's only about people. And the question becomes, if you just focus on people, what do we do to accommodate the retirees? What do we have in place that the retirees say, man, I'm moving over there. Where's my money? I'm taking out of that bank. I'm moving over, putting that bank up there in Sumner County. Here's 12 months out. Let me just take you now to the land side of life and show you quickly how that works, and then we'll focus on Sumner, and then we're done. Right here, 4 months ago, green on here says you don't have enough lots. Yellow on here says you're just right, and orange says you have too many lots. This right over here, Danny, is right here. See that? Yeah, we're just not. We have 900 lots out there right now. 4 months ago, take them down to 498 a year. Right now, you can see that our lot count's going up somewhat because of a few projects that have come up. We added them in finally because of townhouse and that. But if you take it out, all the way out, and just start taking it out, you're going to find that, let me just go back here, just 12. There's places in the Middle Tennessee market where you wind up with no lots left. At the current rate they're developing, you wind up with no lots. There's quite a few of those spots. Let me take you now out of here and show you here. This is the number of subdivisions, having said all of that are still inactive. In the greater Hendersonville world, I have 21 subdivisions that didn't start a house in the last 4 months. And in the Gallatin market, I have 10. In the Sumner County world, I have 30. So even though we have this shortage, there's still the ability to make a mistake and put something in the wrong place. Do you know that in good times, 1/3 of all the subdivisions in Sumner County are dogs? Why? Because you made a dog decision. And you want to put a dog site. Or you put some dog product with dog prices in a lousy deal. So it is possible in a really good market situation to make a mistake. So I make you an offer. If you'd like to go broke, come see me after. I can show you where to go. This right here is the overall Nashville market. I'm seeing that turn up this year. Let me now take you all the way through out of here, past Davidson over to Sumner, and then push forecast and we'll quit. Here's the Sumner County market. Remember, I break it down in here, this piece, and then this part here. And each one of those in 8 price ranges. If you look at all the Sumner County market, you can't tell me they're overbuilt. And can I find you a house here or two that's been sitting for a while because for various reasons? Yes. But if you take a look at the 325, 425 market, I have 15 houses that are new houses that are finished unoccupied, and I have 43 under construction. 15 houses sitting there finished unoccupied. I'm comfortable at 16. To try to find overbuilding on our system anywhere in the county, it's not going on. Here's the closing rate. Let me give you a interesting number. A year ago, we were moving in families here at 471 a year. Now we're moving in, this is Sumner County, the whole county. Now we're moving at 697. Take a look at the Hendersonville world. A year ago, we were moving in at a 222 homes a year, 222 new homes a year. That was the moving rate. Now, right now, it's up to 407. In a year's time, we've had almost 100% increase in the moving rate. It's nothing to do with permits now. Those that are thinking about permits, I'm not doing that. I think we're on our way to 543 this year. In other words, we're now moving at a 407 rate. I think we're going to see an increase all the way to 543 rate this year. And here's been the closing rate. I think we're headed here over the next 12 months or this year. Here's the Gallatin market. And then you've got the North Sumner County market. And Williamson County is reasonable. They're going to start struggling with the availability of lots in a major, significant way. Such a problem they have coming. Let me pass in these other counties and I'll show you the forecast and take a couple of questions and we'll quit. Here's Robertson, Dixon, and then you get all the way over to Murray County. Murray County's not seeing much activity, but as prices heat up in Williamson County, you can see a little fall over on the lower price points only, not up to 275 into Murray County. Here's the actual things that have gone here in Middle Tennessee. We bottomed here, and by 11 and by 12 we had jumped up a little bit, and 13 we were here. I think we go here. This market could sustain 12,400 new homes a year. We're not very far away. It is possible that we could see that happen. It could be much steeper than I'm showing. I want to deal with you on something else. I want to make believe this is going to happen. A little conservative. What does that mean? That means between now and the end of 19, we're going to build 55,000 houses. By 19, I need 2.5 year supply of lots. Well, I need 10,500 for 1 year, 10,500 lots for year 2, 5,000 for a part year, so that's 26,000. So my total demand for lots in Middle Tennessee between now and the end of 19 is 81,000. but I've got 18,000, so I'm short 63,000 lots. Let's do that same little exercise with Sumner County, right here. I'm going to use 6,361. How much you want to bet that I've got that number wrong? I have a feeling that could be up as much as 8,900. There's market shifts that are coming, and you have an unbelievable opportunity. And if I could talk you into this doggone retirement thing, you would knock it out the park. It's just laying there on the table waiting for you to grab it. That retirement world. You tell me one county in Middle Tennessee that's going after retirees, including you. You can't find any because nobody's doing that. 40% of the market and we're leaving it lay? Whew, what a mistake. That's why I agreed to come here. I figure I got all the geniuses here. So I'm going to use, in Sumner County, I'm going to use 6,361 lots. Well, I need 2.5 years supply. I need 1,196. Let me just make that 1,200 for 1 year, 1,200 lots for year 2, and 600. That's 2,800 lots. That means, I make these zeros, I'm making both zeros. And 11, that's 9,100. So 9,100 lots, plus or minus. And how many lots have I got? Say I got 2,500. That means that 0, 0, 6, and 8, that's 6. I need to develop 6,600 lots between now and the end of 2019. And if I average 2 lots per acre, I need to develop 3,300 acres of land and build on those lots and close them, and they're gone. That's what short means. You right now are going to be short 6,600 lots. Lots of luck. I tell you what, there's going to be 4, 5, 6 years out in front of you for building and for selling. You get a chance to make money there. Bankers should be happy. Developers should be happy. Land sellers should be happy. You know what I said? Happy, happy, happy. I think you have an opportunity in front of you. I'm going to open it up now for a couple of quick questions, and we'll go from here. And here's what I think the market's going to do this coming year, and I think that Sumner County hits that 997 number. Any question? First one's always the worst one, you know.
So I just
Yes.
want to make sure, do you think we should be going after retirees?
Well, let me think about it for a minute. You know, I'll tell you what's fascinating about that. The retirement market requires certain size houses, and there's 2 kinds of retirees out there, really. And of those 2 kinds, there's 5 demographic groups that fall into the retirement market. And I honestly believe with all my heart, you are sitting on insane opportunity. Why not here? Why not Sumner County? Good night. I cannot begin to tell you the opportunity. Yes.
What's the rental market for Sumner County going to look like in the next 2 years?
Well, if you asked me that about Williamson County, it would be a different answer, by the way. Because I think here that the planning commissions and the council is by and large very reasonable. And I think that it's not anti-growth. And so I think you're going to have the ability to due diligence and do it right now to put lots on the ground. I think you're going to have the ability. I think you're going to be short. That is still not going to be enough. I think there's going to be some resistance to density per acre and a few other things. But I think you're going to have a problem. But by and large, I don't know if it's going to be a major conflict here in the Hendersonville market. I think you have opportunities. I want to focus on. I think you have opportunity here to really move ahead. You know what's going to be the hindrance of that? I'll tell you the hindrance. I think the hindrance is there somebody who's going to champion that? I'm going to walk out the door and I've said I'm willing to help, and it's going to fall flat in its face, right? Maybe. It depends if there's a champion, somebody who's going to say, you know what? We need to take a look at this thing. How do we drag that under 275 market to someplace? How do we do that? How do we, even under 300? How do we touch that? Not that we don't go after the higher end at all. Not saying that. How do we get the retirees to come? What do we do? How do we let the world know where Sumner County is, for God's sakes? Phew, man. I can't tell you how many times I've been up here and so frustrated with just the enormous opportunity. There's very, very few cities I have where you have a county with such upside potential. I appreciate you letting me come. Why don't you come on?
Chase you down. Oh. I wanted to give you this portfolio so you would always remember Thank you.
We'll try to make this really fast because I know we're running a little long. But if our display tables could come up and give their announcements really quick. While they're getting their stuff together, I'll go ahead and do the chamber stuff so we can get out of here. We've got 2 quick announcements about the chamber. I don't know how many people here have plans for next weekend, but you should. And it's to come to the Mid-10 Home Show at the Hendersonville Expo Center next weekend, next Saturday and next Sunday. And if you're looking for volunteer hours, I need some, so feel free to see me. And if you're interested in playing golf, we've got the Hendersonville Chamber Golf Classic here at Bluegrass Country Club on April 21st. So we're looking for people to play in that. Feel free to come see me for that as well.
Good afternoon. My name is Keith Gunner. I'm with New Creation Church, but today I'm representing the Community Pastors Association. And I love you builders and real estate folks. You were nodding through it. I get you. And about 5th comment, I go, okay, I understand that. But I love what he said, that it came down to people. And that's something that us churches and community leaders can agree upon. When it comes down to it, it comes down to people, and we want to unite with you in that same concern. And the best way we know how to do that is the one day in which our country comes together, the National Day of Prayer. Take out your phones, write it down right now, encourage your businesses, your families to be there. It's on Thursday, May 1st. This is something we have continued to do in this community and strongly encourage you to support us. At First Baptist Church, Thursday, May 1st, it's $10 per person or $80 for a table, and it's a prayer breakfast. And as one who still considers himself new to this community, it's a critical time to come together. I encourage you to do that. Encourage your congregations to do the same. And as good pastors, we know exactly what to do here. We know we're going to give away a Bible, because I know you're excited, but it also comes with a gift card to Black Eyed Peas. So now everybody go, oh, okay. Jeez. All right. The winner goes to. Trying to find my name. No. It was me. Hardy Accounting. Where are we at? Trying to find it. Hardy Accounting. I'm trying to find a name, but I can't find it. Sure. Yes. Congratulations.
Hey everybody, I'm here with Historic Rock Castle. I'm Sarah Beth Gideon. I'm the director there. We've got a lot of really exciting things going on this year. We just opened our women's exhibit for celebrating National Women's History Month on Saturday. It's going to be a month-long exhibit, so feel free to stop by anytime. We'll be doing specialized tours, and then additionally on the 1st, the 15th, and the 29th, we'll be doing those living history demonstrations in the house. It's a phenomenal way to kind of meet and greet with the women of Rock Castle. It's really exciting, so I hope y'all will come out and join us. And additionally, if y'all have been over there next to our table, I've been flashing pictures of last year's gala. That's coming up June 7th, so mark your calendars. It's $75 a person, and all the proceeds come back to benefit our educational programs at Rock Castle. And today I'm giving away 2 tickets for our Women's History exhibit, and they're going to Julie White. Okay, now we've got the all-important
Bluegrass was giving away a golf hat and a box of Pro V1s. If anyone's golfers out there, I've heard they're great. And the winner of that goes to Ginger McClendon. And then you can't forget about our signature cleaners and Jets Pizza's Jet Pack. So the winner for signature cleaners is Dr. Rick Parent, and the Jet Pack goes to Lewis Oliver. Thank you all for coming. Don't forget next weekend, Mid-10 Home Show. Be there.